Okay, I'd like to call this meeting to order. Welcome everyone in the room and welcome everyone at home. This is the Bangor School Committee regular meeting. Today is Wednesday, November 16th. It is 7 p.m. If we could all please rise for the pledge.
To the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Okay, do we have any adjustments to the agenda, Superintendent Tager?
Yes, one adjustment, Chair Hostin, D2B, report of resignations.
Okay, thank you. And public comments, and as always, a little statement here. Members of the public may address the school committee for up to 3 minutes on school and education matters. Complaints or allegations concerning specific employees or students will not be allowed, but will be addressed through established policies and procedures. Public comments shall be directed to the school committee and be brief and not repetitive. The school committee's practice is not to respond or debate with speakers during the public comment period. The superintendent or his staff will follow up on comments outside of the meeting as appropriate. And before starting, please state your name and place of residence. Any public comments today? Yeah, please come forward. State your name and place of residence.
Thank you, committee. My name is Michael Anthony Norton, 83 Elm Street, Unit C, Bangor, Maine. I have a business fledgling, businesses lead our transportation system. I hope parents and teachers are listening today, and principals, thank you for being here, and everyone on the school committee, even though it's a university comment, a university level, but you know, there's integration. Whoa. The magnetism constant, if you enter that into Google or Bing search field, you get a display of all kinds of gibberish. It's outdated, it's 100, 200, 300, 400 years old, it's wrong, it's not the present value magnetism constant. So this is a problem for media and reporting because it's been around, the present value one has been around for almost 10 years. And it's awesome. It may allow someday to have universities in their course catalogs a Department of Energy for majors and minors in aerospace engineering, in medicine, in health, in athletics, in communications, and international studies. But right now it's the Department of Energy, who I just applied this week, and then a whole bunch of classes in a crazy American education fabric. But it's exciting, and I hope you refer to the comment I made about the Tides Day presentation for the students at Bangor schools and can respond to that soon, because who knows, maybe I'll get picked up someday by Energy, and hopefully I'll see you again. Thanks.
Thank you.
Okay. Any other public comments? We move on to superintendent's proposals and updates. We have no action items, but we have one informational item. We have community solar power presentation. Superintendent Tager.
Yes, Chair Hostin, Business Director Jerry Heyman and Travis Curtis, Solar Farms Consultant, will share a presentation on community solar power.
How's everybody doing tonight?
Good, thank you.
I just have a couple presentations for the board. I got enough for everybody to share. Travis, if you want to pass these out. We wanted to give a little bit more information because a lot of people have heard about this, but they don't know exactly what's going on. Thank you for everybody for your time tonight. My name is Nathan McCarthy. I'm the CEO of Solar on Earth. Our headquarters is out of Massachusetts, and we currently employ over 20 people in the state of Maine that are Maine residents as well, which I think is important to Mainers, that we actually have a lot of employees that live and work out of the state as well. We've been very thankful to Jerry Heyman for given us all the information that we need in order to give the school district a proper proposal about the community solar farm. This particular project is approved by the planning board in Bar Harbor. It's being built in Bar Harbor probably like around March, and we have a specific amount of power that's going to be qualified to be used for commercial only. That's a state rule. When Maine came out with the community solar program, there was two programs. One was the kilowatt hour program, which is designated for residential and small secondary general service. And then you have the net energy billing program, which is actually dedicated for something like Bangor School District, for Michael Foods up in Aroostook County, some larger users of electricity. That's the rule. Currently, our company works with over 50 businesses in Bangor. A lot of small businesses. They love saving money, and they also pay really high electric rates, being small business owners. So they've enjoyed, getting onto these programs. And obviously, the money part of it is important, but there's a huge environmental factor, that's behind these projects. I've been doing community solar for about 8 years, and I've been in solar for about 11. And my experience is Maine is actually a state that has gone the fastest from stop to go, faster than any other state in the whole country. And right now we have construction of solar farms planned until 2026. So there's a lot of jobs, being created in the state as well. I think that's extremely important. I'd like to personally see more workforce development type projects, especially some stuff up in Aroostook County where we can utilize some of the technical schools and whatnot. But that's just something I brought up, tonight. So I want to get into the meat and potatoes on the solar project. So like I said, the project is approved. It is a specific project. We approached Bangor School District with our best foot forward. We didn't say, oh, we'll do this, we'll do that. Okay, what kind of discount can, we're offering a pretty substantial discount that the school district can seriously benefit from. That benefit would start probably around May of 2023, because the project's going to be probably fully built or turned on somewhere around March. Unfortunately, when you're this far in the Northeast, you can't always plan the best for construction projects. Ground is frozen a little bit longer. Sometimes Versant, the same way they might treat people, take 2-3 months to come out to throw a switch on something. They do this. It's all the utility companies in the country right now. They're very backed up. So we might have a solar farm sitting there for 40 days and it's fully built until they come out and throw the switch. And that's when Bangor School District would start, getting those savings off that project. Most people want to go right into the money. Obviously, we know that the school district spends a lot of money on electricity, but the first thing I'd like to say that is not on this proposal, and I'm not sure why it didn't get on here, but this particular solar farm, the section that Bangor School District would be receiving the benefit from would be reducing 4,740,748 pounds of CO2 per year, which in GED level, like me, because that's what I have, that is equivalent to 103,000 trees per year. So that's equivalent to what it would take 103,000 trees to reduce per year by Bangor School District opting into the solar farm program. So I just wanted to bring that up because some people throw these big numbers out and no one really knows exactly what they mean. So yeah, I wanted to touch on that. I think that's a really important part. But the way that the program works, it's not a complicated program. What would happen is the electric bill would still come into the school district the way that it does right now. And let's just use the number of $20,000. The electric bill would come in from Versant. Let's say the bill was supposed to be $20,000. we would put probably about a $19,000 credit on that $20,000 bill because we don't want to put more credits on the bill than you need. So you would go ahead and pay Versant $1,000, and then 30 days later, we would bill Bangor School District 25% less that $19,000 credit that we put on their electric bill. So it's a pretty substantial savings, you know. So now Bangor School District would really only pay for 75% of their electric bill, at least on the delivery part that Versant gives you guys. So that would equal to about $87,000 a year in savings off of the Bangor School District's electric bill, and that would be guaranteed for 20 years. So there's no that's how it works. That's why I love the program. You know, the bill comes in, you see a new line item on the second page of the electric bill. It's going to say net energy billing credit negative $19,000. That automatically adjusts the first page. It's going to say, okay, they gave us $19,000. Now you still have to pay us $1,000, and then you get billed 75% of that $19,000 30 days later. So some people say, well, how do I know if I'm saving money? Well, that's why I bring this up 3 different times, is you see a credit for X and a bill for Y. So some questions that Mr. Heyman brought up that your attorney had. He wanted to know which solar project it was. Was it approved by the planning board? Yes, just to confirm again, it is approved by the planning board in Bar Harbor. All set to go. How long is the construction project? We kind of touched on that. Like, we're hoping to touch down around March, and then probably realistically, May, June is when, the school district would start, receiving credits, on their electric bill. When would the school department, when would they be able to use the net energy billing credits? So that would be around May, June. So that's a triggering event. I mean, that was kind of like a majority of all the questions. Jerry told me probably about 10 different times, we want to ask you all these questions because it's something that sounds too good to be true. And that's why we wanted to come in today and, hear from the school committee so we could get a definitive yes, if this is something that you guys want to move forward with, or a definitive no. Just because we're also on a timeline to complete these projects as well. So, is there any questions that anybody has? I'd love to.
Go right ahead.
Yeah, just the school committee, just so you're aware too, we wanted you to see this presentation tonight, give you some time to think about it. So if there is an interest, this would be an agenda item on November the 30th where you could make a decision. So no rush. We appreciate you being here.
Sure.
And now's the time, if you have any questions, it would be good to ask. And we do have a couple of weeks. If you have questions you are not ready to ask now, we can give those to Director Heyman and he can reach out for us.
So any questions? I know several of us just want to absorb this and digest it too.
Yeah.
So, and come back to you with any questions.
Sure.
But any immediate questions? No? Okay, Member Mendel.
Yeah, I'm just wondering, how did, first of all, I love this. I have solar panels on my roof, so I love seeing my $6.67, $6.67. Yeah. So, how did this come about? Did you all approach the department, or did we reach out?
We reached out to the department directly, and I think we got a hold of one of the principals.
We walked in and how we started that.
Okay, great. So does this have to go to like a competitive bidding process? Or?
It does not. They act as a actual broker. Their fees aren't paid directly from the school. There's no cash outlay to them, and there's no actual cash outlay from the school whatsoever for the program. There's really nothing to bid. We receive offers in the mail all the time, and they're usually in the 10 to 15% range. And they came to us with the quite aggressive 25% discount on the delivery side of it, which was a lot bigger than anything I've seen.
We've just, Member Mundell, we've run this through Dan Stockford too, our attorney. So Jerry's done his homework on this, but we want you to have some time to absorb this. I think the biggest reason why is it's a 20-year commitment, no cash out on our part, but this is a 20-year contract.
Yep.
Member Surratt, and then Member Sorg.
Thank you for this. It's a lot to think
Problem,
about. I had a question. You mentioned Bar Harbor. Have you done this in any other school districts in Maine?
I don't think so. I mean, so a lot of what, like, especially down this way, like CMP and Versant. So the funny thing that happened in Maine is when these two programs came out, the kilowatt hour program and the net energy billing program, our partners and the developers were getting quite a higher incentive to build projects under the kilowatt hour program. So there was a lot of commercial customers that kind of got put on hold for 2 years almost, during COVID. Up in Aroostook County, it worked the opposite way, where the credit was higher for net energy billing and way less for kilowatt hour. So no homeowners were getting on the program. It was just all big businesses. So we actually haven't even had like a lot of power for net energy billing. We haven't really had the opportunity to do too much of this.
In Maine?
No. Yeah, I mean, we have like Boston Medical Center on this in Boston. We have 5,000 dairy farms on this program. We probably got 1,000 hog farms on this program. We probably have, 2,000 residents on this program, like in this area, Penobscot County. We have almost every single dairy farm in this area. We're really work heavily in the agricultural, Crane Brothers, they're a potato farm over here. Bagel Central, they're getting hooked on. There's 50 other businesses downtown. But they all fall under the kilowatt hour program, which they have a second general service rate class, which is completely different from what the school has, which is LGS, large general service, which falls under the net energy billing program. I believe one of the big hospitals here is on the program too. Might be Maine, one of the top three. But yeah, that hasn't been our focus, to be honest, in Maine, is going after guys who are spending, $50,000 a month. I mean, the program was initially intended, at least in this area and down to Portland, for the homeowner and the business owner who's spending around $2,000 a month. That's actually what the state decided to do, which, if you think about it, when you have a program like community solar, do you really want Walmart taking all the power from these things? That's debatable. We have the finance guys in the back room that says, we want Walmart because they make the project look good from a finance side. But then, like the Scott Brysons of the world and these other small businesses, they kind of get overlooked because they're a small business and we'd rather do business with Walmart. So companies like us, we were the ones who set the trend for doing all the dairy farms, doing all this other stuff where I don't want to go on the farm. There's cow manure everywhere or whatever. But those guys, they love this program. There's 4,000 dairy farms in New York. We have 3,000 of them signed on right now. I mean, so that's kind of, yeah, we have museums. We have Museum of Contemporary Arts in Western Mass on this program. We probably have a bunch of different towns and New York signed on to the program. But yeah, I mean, after this farm, we don't really have too much to do we're limited by, at least down here, the direction going forward for at least the time being is going to be a lot more directed towards smaller business and homeowners rather than humongous businesses. That's just, and a little bit is also kind of incentive driven too, because the finance guys look at these projects and say, hey, we know it will take us longer to fill a project with a bunch of small business owners or homeowners, but it's a 20-year annuity for us. But for us, it kind of creates more work. We can create more jobs, especially if we have guys going out talking to homeowners all day instead of they just sign up 10 Walmarts and that fills up all the projects. I mean, I'm kind of against that, to be honest. I don't think they need this program. So, to
your question too, the there are other companies that are working with school systems, and we talked to Dan, so this isn't unusual. The offer that they are giving us is a generous offer, so we wanted to bring this one to you to consider. And there's certainly some relevance to sharing this type of work with our students too. So
Oh, yeah.
we do appreciate you reaching out, and I think you may have more questions.
Yep. Member Sorg was next.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, you're saying 25% discount, is that for the total 20 years? Every year for 20 years?
Yep. But if you look at this graph, you have two different columns, like your estimated low and then your estimated high. So solar panels do lose 0.5% of efficiency, per year. But if your rates are going up 3% or 10%, your actually savings are increasing, even though you're losing a little bit of your solar offset, because that credit value increases slightly with what the electric rates are going up. So, I mean, you could pretend like, the rates are going to go up at 0.5% per year and you're going to degrade at 0.5% per year. That's why your savings would stay the same for the whole 20 years on the estimated low, which is $87,000 a year. But then you could look at a high case, which is 4%, which is, in my opinion, is actually still low. If you've been in Maine for a while, Maine rates for homeowners were 13 cents 3.5 years ago, and now they're 21 cents. And that's the same thing for businesses downtown. They're getting crushed. I mean, they're paying what you're paying in Massachusetts for electric now. People live in Maine and live in certain places because they like how it can be economical. Me too. I don't live in Massachusetts, so it's too expensive. So now it's become something different. Electric rates are literally out of control. Some people, when CMP went up crazy like last year, people had just signed on to our solar program and they all called us thinking that the solar made my bill go up. And we had to explain to them CMP just did this crazy rate hike and all this, it's like people don't know what to do now. The electric rates are, so yeah, I think this is a great way it's also mitigating risk. It's a guarantee, as far as if the solar farm's there. I mean, force majeure, acts of God, a plane falls out of the sky, hits the solar farm, and we can't produce energy. Obviously, we can't save you anything. What we're saying is every dollar we put on your electric bill, we're always going to be billing you back 75 cents on the dollar. That's no matter what. And we're going to try our best to give you, we just can't control, like if there's like a polar apocalypse next year and ice freezes over the panels and we can't, the sun explodes. I mean, we're probably in worse problems than that. But yeah, I'd say like the truth is probably like somewhere between the estimated low and the estimated high, so if you were to maybe take like an arrow or whatever, it'd probably land like maybe around like 2.1 million bucks, over 20 years, it's found money. So there's that. I used to do solar where people were taking out huge bank loans and financing these projects, but there's no loan, there's no like out of pocket, expenditure. Technically you are paying into the program because if Versant is kind of indirectly funding these programs from a mandate from the state, but who pays them? So I've had customers say, it sounds like money laundering. And I'm like, because I work with dairy farms and they'll bring up all sorts of things, you never know. But that's how this program's pretty much funded from people who pay electric bills. That's really who it's funded by. Same when you see like your panels that are on your roof, the same money that went to go to fund your panels that are on your roof this is under the same program. It's just out in the field, So I didn't mean to talk too much, but most people have never heard about this stuff, and it sounds a little confusing, but it's as simple as I'm saying it is,
So we have member Luciano and then member Sprague next.
Hey there. So I just
Sure.
wanted to ask quickly about assuming that as technology and time pass, the efficiency would improve. Is there a locked-in low rate, or is there a way for us to renegotiate if rates become more opportune? I'm just imagining theoretically as technology gets better, it becomes more affordable.
So I think there's a million different ways to kind of answer that question. Like you could get the sales answer, some other answer, whatever. What I've seen in the last 8 years, I'll give you an example. We started out at a 20% discount in Massachusetts. We had plenty of people, oh, wait, I'll see, the deals would get better. Then they went down to 15%, then they went down to 10%, and now they're at 7%. New York was at 10% forever. It was down at 7%. Minnesota, where Travis works out of sometimes, started at like a 10, 12% discount. It's at 5. So what happens is each state, when they come out with their program, they have tranches, tranche 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And the way it works is tranche 1 will say, oh, tranche 1 is worth $50. Okay, we need to hit an IRR of whatever so we can afford to give them $20. Okay, tranche 2, that's worth $40. Now we could give you $15. And eventually there's just not enough money to kind of move around. So I think the people who get in earlier than later, those are the ones who really save the most money. That's kind of, at least they're, and I don't know, Sarah, I mean, we don't know what that answer, there might be some black box that you can bury in the backyard of Bangor School District that comes out in 10 years and there's no more electric bill, but I mean, it's too hard to predict. I think the way I would look at it is, at least I know for sure I'm saving $87,000 a year off my electric bill. There's no investment. But at this point, the school is only actually offset half, by the way, because the supply isn't consolidated on the electric bill. If the supply part of the bill got consolidated, we could double that savings. So there is room to kind of like add on. I just don't think you're going to get 25% again. That's
Yeah,
really
I'm not
what I
as worried
think.
about the percentage of savings. I'm much more picturing sort of increased costs down the line with improvements to equipment or connectivity or efficiency, and where that maximum output would be in terms of return kilowatt hours. So
Okay, thanks for bringing that up. So when people start looking at electric bills, they always think of a kilowatt hour. And I know there's some kilowatt hour stuff on here, but that's like between us and the utility. This is just a dollar spend type of thing. We're giving you $100, you're paying us back 70. There's no like, we gave you 8 cents, they're paying 9 cents or 10 cents or anything like that. That has nothing to do with this, which is nice. So if you get a better rate from your supplier or whatever, and you figure out how to get your bills consolidated next year or whenever, that discounts just off of whatever that is. Yeah.
okay,
Yeah.
thanks.
So, which I like, because it doesn't like make it so you don't have it like, but to touch on the supply stuff, I mean, I don't think like good supply rates are going to be as common in the future, because these big companies aren't willing to take as much of a risk because they're worried about going out of business, you know? So they don't want to hedge too much, where they, you know, a bunch of supply companies went out of business during COVID because of that. And they got a little bit over, and then like the thing in Texas, rates went crazy. They gave people rates at 7 cents. They're really buying it at 13. They lost money. So, yeah.
Member Sprague.
Thank you. Thanks for being here. I don't really understand this, and I probably am not going to immediately. I'll dig into it before our next meeting, but
Sure.
I think I maybe get like 10% of it, but after everything you went through at the end, I think I'm down to like 3 to 5%. But
Okay.
and that's not to insult you. You know it very well, but I'm just a layperson. I don't really understand this stuff. I'm just going to lay that out there. Before the next meeting, I hate to give staff homework, but I would love to see like a staff memo or from superintendent or from Jerry or somebody about why we would do this, what the staff's perspective is on how this is going to work. Because a 20-year commitment is a big commitment, and it seems simple. You say it's simple. You could be selling us a monorail. I don't know, but
A monorail?
just
Travis has one outside. We're about to install it tonight.
just an analogy.
Go to
But
Ogdenville?
I know. I want to play with you too, Ben.
I feel like I just don't feel like I'm going to make a decision on the spot, and it does. I'm very pro solar. I intuitively I want to be tapped into that, but I don't really understand it. So I'd love to have staff kind of present it for us. It's just where I'm coming from on it.
Yeah, we'll put something together for you.
And here's another naive question, possibly. Why the 20 years and why not like 10 years?
So that's what we get these incentives for 20 years. Yeah. And plus you guys are taking a huge part of the project. It's not like you're a homeowner with a $200 electric bill, you know? So we've allocated like almost half of a solar farm. The other large commercial, if Bangor School District decides to move forward, the other large commercial entity that would be on the same project is a large dairy farm in Piscataquis County, which is Rogers Dairy Farm, which is pretty cool. So they're already signed on. They've signed on to the 20 years, and they got all the same stuff. So yeah. Yep.
Member Surratt.
Yeah, just along the lines of Ben's question, I hate to put this out to staff too, but is there any way that we could reach out to someone, either a large business or a comparable in size institution that is using solar power in this way, or using a program similar to this?
Oh yeah, no
and
problem.
just get some sort of testimonial, how's this working for you?
Sure.
Have you had any issues, problems?
Yep, no problem. We can provide you guys plenty of references. If you guys don't mind agricultural customers. Yeah.
I would prefer anything, an institution that's closest to a school system.
Mm-hmm.
If that doesn't exist.
I mean, the dairy farms spend just as much as money as you guys do on some of the farms we got, you know? I mean, we have some of the biggest dairy farms in New York on this program. We have over 100 dairies in Vermont. We have about 100 here in Maine. Taylor Dairies on the program. They're around here. Simpson Dairy. You might have heard of them.
We can do that, yep.
Yeah, we can get you guys plenty of, but remember, if someone's spending $400, if they're spending 10 grand a month, that the program works the same, you know, regardless of how big the electric bill is. Someone thinks they always like, oh, like what other zoo has done it? I'm like, it could be a liquor store, it could be a McDonald's. We have every single McDonald's in Illinois signed on to this program. We went through a year vetting program with their corporate board and stuff, you know, so I understand that we've had all these questions, you know.
Excellent. Any other questions, comments? No? All right. Thank you so much.
No problem.
Excellent.
Thank you guys for
Thank
your
you.
time.
Thank
Yep.
you. Okay.
Have a good night, guys.
Good night. Sure. Okay, so moving on to business action items, we, did
One more here.
I forget?
Yeah.
Oh, I did put it on. So we have report of resignations. Superintendent Tager.
Thank you. I'm reporting the following resignation. Denise Vidum, special education teacher, William S. Cohen School.
And that's just information.
Yes.
Yep. Okay, now we move on to business action items, and we have the first action item is the minutes for our regular meeting of October 26th, 2022.
I'm recommending approval of the draft minutes of October 26, 2022, regular school committee meeting.
Can I get a motion, please?
Second?
Any discussion or questions? No? All in favor?
Passes 7-0. Thank you.
Next, we have our financial report for our August financial report.
I'm recommending approval of the August financial report.
Motion, please.
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion or questions? Member Mundell.
Yeah, a question for Jerry. Could you explain the numbers under school committee for expenditures? And you might have explained this when we talked about the budget, but I just need a refresher for what we're actually spending, what those expenditures are for school committee. This isn't specific to this period, but just in general, that budget item.
Yeah, when we do the budgets, we'll give you a full breakdown of the various categories, but in large part, the expenses that will go onto here, there's director and officer insurance, and the biggest, I think, right now is legal, the legal cost that the school committee, the school board incurs throughout the year, so.
Okay,
Okay.
thank you.
Any other questions? No? All in favor?
Motion passes 7-0.
Thank you. Next, we have personnel, and we have extra duty assignments.
I'm recommending committee approval of the following extra duty assignments for the school year 2022-2023. Kathleen Vorenkamp, cheering coach, William S. Cohen School. Sophia Sharapa, varsity softball coach, Bangor High School. Keith Simpson, B, girls basketball coach, William S. Cohen School.
Motion, please.
So moved.
Second.
Any questions or comments? No? All in favor?
Passes 7-0. Thank you.
Next, we have donations. Member Sorg.
Yes. To Abraham Lincoln School from the Rock Church, gift bags for teachers having a total dollar value of $200. To Abraham Lincoln School from Tyler McIntosh, McIntosh Forestry Service, 10 yards of wood chips for the school garden having a total dollar value of $150. To Fruit Street School from St. Paul Apostle Church in Bangor, shoes, socks having a total dollar value of $500. To Vine Street School from Bangor Savings Bank, 150 jars of peanut butter, jelly, and fluff having a total dollar value of $450. To Vine Street School from Elks Lodge number 244, 55 dictionaries for third grade students having a total dollar value of $207. To Vine Street School from the Rock Church of Bangor, 50 gift bags for staff having a total dollar value of $200. To Vine Street School from Chick-fil-A Leader Academy, 5 books for each third grade student and staff member having a total dollar value of $1,200. To William S. Cohen School from Art and Beth Catrides, a cash donation to purchase school snacks having a total dollar value of $100. To William S. Cohen School from Art and Beth Catrides, a cash donation to support students during a holiday season having a total dollar value of $250. To James F. Dowdy School from the DMT Fund in memory of Danielle Thompson, a cash donation to support students having a total dollar value of $250. To Bangor High School Athletics from Norman Minsky, a treadmill having a total dollar value of $2,500. We thank you very much with great thanks.
Thank you. Motion, please.
So moved.
Second.
Any questions or discussion? No? All in favor?
Thank you. 7-0.
Thank you so much. Okay, no introduction items, so we move on to committee updates. Any comments or questions from the committee? Seeing none, we'll move on to representatives' reports. I don't believe, do we have any from UTC? Okay. Oh, sorry. Or any? Do you have?
No,
one?
I was not able to attend the meeting, so I don't. Ben, did you make it?
Actually, they had to cancel the meeting at the end,
I thought so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay,
so there was none.
sure. And next time, Member Surratt for Spruce.
Yes, I do have a spruce report. We did have a meeting last Thursday, November 10th. There was an update on construction on a multi-purpose room has been completed at Bangor Regional Program. This will provide additional space for physical education, eating, more space for speech and language services. There's a project that was approved to remove asbestos from the tower at Bangor Regional Program. A series of professional development workshops were announced on a variety of topics that all Spruce districts will receive. One is mental health first aid delivered by Acadia Hospital. Another one is training for teachers to supervise and mentor educational technicians. Another one of the trainings will be, it's called Peers, and it's from the University of Maine, Orono, and it trains teachers to interact with students with autism spectrum disorder. There's a training on multimodality, or teaching in multimodalities. And then finally, another one on behavior data analysis and developing plans to support students. Also, Dr. Betsy Webb has resigned as the executive director of Spruce. She's been there for many, many years in that position, has been a huge benefit to the program. She wants to refocus her energy on her other commitments at the University of Maine and within prep was what she sent out to all prep members with the information. So anyway, that's my report.
Thank you so much. Any other reports? I know several of the other committees are meeting soon, so more to come. Do we have any student committee updates? Member Sada.
Thank you. The student body welcomes our new member. Also, last week on the election, several, I think like a dozen students or so volunteered at the election. Even the Secretary of State, Shanna Bellows, came to the high school to help train students and answer questions. So that was a really great opportunity. And the election volunteers, the other ones, were very excited to see fresh faces. Also, on November 10th, the high school invited 4 veterans to an assembly for the Distinguished Veterans Honor Roll induction. This is the first year the honor roll has happened, and it was created to recognize the dignity and work for which these veterans have served their communities. And the requirement for the honor roll is to either have been born in Bangor or have attended Bangor High School. And the 4 inductees were Lieutenant General Walter Ulmer, Lieutenant Colonel Jack Kurtzman, Master Sergeant Bernie Dill, and Petty Officer First Class John DeRoche. So we thank them for their service. There was a assembly, and juniors and seniors attended the JROTC, and the band were leading it. Also last week, or this week, the Chick-fil-A Leader Academy distributed books to students at 14th Street and Vine Street, and they're going to Fruit Street tomorrow. And so just for a quick summary of what Chick-fil-A Leader Academy is. So this is a national program, and our local Chick-fil-A has decided to sponsor this at the high school. So students were selected to participate in this, and it exposes students to leadership activities throughout the year, and it will accumulate into a community impact project that's student created and student led. So more news on that to come. But for this month, the mini service project was to distribute books to 3rd graders, and they went around at different schools and got to meet all the 3rd graders, and they're very excited to receive the books. So it's a great service project. And as a final note, the musical this year is happening at the end of the week on Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. You can go see Cinderella, the musical, at 7 p.m. and tickets are $5, which you can buy at the door. Thank you.
Thank you so much. You always give the best update. Thank you. Okay, we have no reports. Information items. We have several important dates coming up. We have Wednesday, November 30th, 2022, regular meeting, 7 p.m., council chambers. We have Wednesday, December 14th, regular meeting, 7 p.m., council chambers. Friday, December 23rd, 2022 is Bangor Day. And Wednesday, January 11th, 2023, regular meeting, 7 p.m., council chambers. Any final questions or comments from the committee? All righty, seeing none, I would like a motion for the purpose of an investigation of complaints pursuant to 1 MRSA 4056A going into executive session.
So moved.
All in favor? Okay,
Passes 7-0.
thank you. And the rest of you are okay. We don't adjourn yet. We don't adjourn yet. We adjourn afterwards.
So are we just doing the same thing we did last time?
You're gonna hang out till we get done, yeah, shut it off.
And then you'll come grab one of us
Yep,
and start it
and then we'll
again
come back and
you guys do
adjourn.
it.
Yep, thank you. So we went to this at 7:45. Good.
So moved.
Second.
All in? For adjournment.
Second.